Time for another crypto vlog. Just got back from Mexico. Turns out, came back into a blizzard, and on top of that, the markets are getting slammed, both crypto and stocks, and I'm excited. Kind of reminds me of a time, back in 2018, I'd made another crypto vlog, and back then, it was like a giant sea of red. Everything was going down everywhere. People were panicking. They had all kinds of excuses back then. It's like, India and China is banning crypto, and there's a lot of selling for Chinese New Year. And it's like pretty much the exact same timing as last time. This time, it's not India or China that's banning the crypto, but it's more like it's Russia. Russia is banning mining. The Chinese New Year thing hasn't come up this time, but hey, is what it is. So I just wanted to take a little deeper look into some of these things and tread into some dark territory here. Few things that nobody's talking about, and some smart money might be taken a little bit off of ETH. And let me tell you why. So, you may have heard that the SEC was going after Ripple. It's kind of big news a little while back. Huge lawsuit, unregistered security. Now Ripple has fired back and said, ETH, they're not a security. You haven't done anything about them. And so they pointed out how this William Hinman guy, he was kind of an important big shot there for the SEC. I forget his exact title. He wasn't director, but he was in charge of like corporate affairs or something like this. And he had made several speeches where he said ETH is not a security, and that Bitcoin wasn't a security either. And see, Ethereum, a lot of people might not know this if they're newer to crypto, did have an ICO. In fact, 70 million ETH was mined in the Genesis block of the Ethereum network. So what XRP is doing in their lawsuit is they've requested to be brought into evidence transcripts of William Hinman's speech, and also a few other emails that were sent between the various parties that work at the SEC. Sorry about the lighting here, guys. And so this is all coming into evidence. The speech, like Hinman wrote a letter which was accepted into the lawsuit. I'll put a little picture of it up. And he pretty much says, look, that day I was talking about ETH not being a security back in the day. That was just my personal opinion. However, the SEC has never actually stated one way or another, is ETH a security or not? So that leaves a door open to big trouble for Ethereum. And even though Vitalik, if you look at the initial ICO for ETH, he clearly states that, it's a utility token and it's not a security. That doesn't necessarily make it so, because the new guy from, who's chairman of the SEC, Greg Gensler is the name I was looking for. So he's the new chairman of the SEC, and his position is that it is actually a security, which means big changes for those laws.
This is why I've earlier this year said I think that most of them are. I think Ether, when it was done in 2014, would pass this test. When I say pass, it means it's a security.
Ethereum, when it was first promoted in 2014, I believe passed this test. And the word pass means that you are a security. Just a little vocabulary thing. You want to fail the Howey test, by the way. Like if you are a venture capitalist you and don't want to be regulated, you want to fail this test. But to pass the Howey test, Ethereum in 2014 exchanged Bitcoin for ETH. It was an investment in a common enterprise at that point in time, a 20 or 21-year-old Vitalik Buterin running a Ethereum foundation out of Switzerland. It was one group. an expectation of profits. They had no functioning network. It was just an idea and a white paper, a really good idea, and good faith actors. And it was reliant on whether Vitalik and his team of coders were going to stand this project up. I mean, to me, I don't even think there's much doubt.
There was an interview with Gensler where he was on Squawk Box and they asked him about ETH being a security, and he refused to answer for different legal reasons. And so I kind of feel like the door is open on ETH being a security, which could be a big issue, most likely more so just for the people who initially distributed the tokens. However, this might have some drawbacks and FUD on Ethereum.
Your view of whether Ethereum is a security or not, I think you've actually suggested it isn't, but then why you believe that Ripple is a security. And I know there's an ongoing lawsuit related to Ripple, but could you speak to the Ethereum issue?
Andrew, just to have a little fun with you, refer back to my earlier question. I'm not going to speak to any one matter. And so your listeners understand it. I'm the chair of a 5-member commission that's also a civil law enforcement agency. And so we don't get involved in these types of public forums talking about any one project, one possible circumstance, and give legal advice over the airways that way.
All these things that I've been talking about, you can read online. There was an article written by Jeff John Roberts. That's kind of what got me into this whole line of thinking about ETH and the SEC and the possible FUD that could come out of that. So interesting 3-minute little read there. Now that we know there may be some tough times coming ahead for ETH and some FUD happening, question is what to do about it. Well, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just making a video about what I've been thinking about. And one of my thoughts is I'm not actually super concerned about it. And the reason is there's new options coming out. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a fork of ETH happening called Pulsechain. Here's a picture. And it's created by Richard Hart, as you see him there in the photo. And he is making a completely different fork of ETH. So even if ETH was a security, is a fork of ETH still a security? I doubt it, especially since it's a free airdrop. So there's really nothing you can say about that from it being a security. From that point of view, I think personally it would probably fail the Howey test. I have no expectations that Pulsechain will do anything. However, I look at it as a derivative play of everything on all my ETH holdings. Sorry if everything's a little bit off here. It is minus 30 and my hands are freezing. That's why sometimes the camera angles change here a little bit. So anyway, so I'm very bullish about Pulsechain, and I'm glad that we'll have a backup of ETH and all our tokens and ERC20s and NFTs and all that good stuff on a separate chain. And so that's the good news anyways, and I think people should be looking into that. And I wouldn't FOMO out of crypto personally. I always take a little bit off to the side on a day like this, and I've had money on the sidelines for a long time. Part of the reason why I've been doing less crypto vlogs in the last year is prices have been so high, I've been finding it a little boring. I like it when we're at the bottom of the bear market and just everything's on sale and cheap and there's lots of things to talk about. And I just feel like for the last 2 years, the price of everything has been too much. And I just don't want to buy in at the highs. So you have to patiently sit through the bull market for the exciting bear market. And I hope there is a bit of a bear market here. I'd love it. And I'm waiting to dive in on a few things. I want to buy some more hacks. And maybe when Pulsechain launches, it starts at a price of 0. But I hope if it's during a bear market, the price is super low so I can scoop some up. Also, I'd like to purchase some more Bitcoin and a few other things. So I'm pretty excited and looking forward to this dip. And I hope you are too. And just another quick thought that I was going to throw in here at the end of the video. So this is more so for myself. It's not financial advice, but just for my own records. I stopped dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin at 10,000 US dollars. So this time, what I'll be doing is anything under 25,000 US dollars, I'm going to start buying some again. My goal for Ethereum, I had stopped buying Ethereum once it hit 500 US dollars. And so this time, anything below maybe 1,200 US dollars, I would start slowly dollar cost averaging into again. And then my most exciting is I've been looking at that hex price and it's been dropping nicely. And really, anytime that thing hits 15 cents or lower, I'm in. You know, I've even bought it at like 17, 18 cents in the last few months as it's done some drops. But, you know, I'd consider doing larger purchases at around 15 cents. So these are my personal price targets that I'm just putting up here on YouTube for myself to remember and, you know, look back on, because that's part of the reason why I do these crypto vlogs, is they're like little journals for myself, and you know, gives me a chance to look back and see how my opinions have changed over the years. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and hope you all have a good evening.